Welcome to English Level 1, Unit 6. We almost finished this level. I hope you have a great time. I hope you really enjoy learning English with our institution. What are we going to work in this unit? This is a final unit. The first topic, we're going to talk about people in the community. So you're ready to talk about people in the community, explain them, have professions, where do they live. This is one of the parts that we have in this unit. The second part that we have in the unit number 6 will be use is and are as a prepositions of place. Is there a policeman in your neighborhood? Yes? So you would tell me in this unit. And finally, in the last topic, we're going to listen for specific information about places. Tell me about places. What about the church? Where is the church? Is there any church in your neighborhood? Can you find a church in the city? How many churches do you know about? So we're going to practice and we're going to have a great time here enjoying this unit. Have a great time. Thank you. See you. Hi everybody. I hope you'll be great and wonderful today. Welcome to Unit 6. Let's see what we have in this unit. In this unit, I will learn, me and you will learn, talk about things people do every day. What do you do every day? Use adverbs and prepositions to say when something happens. Use the present continuous to talk about things that are happening now. So now let's go practice. Speaking section. We're going to talk about some speaking strategies. After this, the first speaking strategy that I would like to talk to you today is refuse and polite. Remember that how when using refuse, how when using polite. So we have something polite, it's just to say no. Okay? So we have different things that they can sound more polite. Yeah, like I give it reasons for refusing. For example, sorry, I'm busy, thanks, that are kind, right? It's something polite, yes? So be polite and be sorry about any situation when you speak English. Let's continue with the next part. Okay, so here, before to continue, we're going to talk about some vocabulary for daily actions, right? So every day, in the morning, in the afternoon, you do some couple of actions. So let's talk about this vocabulary. Every day you have breakfast, right? So every day you have breakfast, every day you have dinner, every day you go home, yeah? You get up every morning, yes? You go to bed, right? So we have some vocabulary here. So let's practice this vocabulary. Repeat after me. Breakfast, different, dinner, get home, get up, go to bed, leave, lunch, relax, shower, tired, wake up. So this vocabulary we have in different kind of positions when you get home, right? So when you get up in the morning or you wake up, when you go to bed. And here we have some special breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's keep on going with the exercise that we're planning to practice. And here we have a special information. Thank you to World War English. I take this presentation for World War English. Let's see how is this box around, okay? So we're going to talk about some adverbs of frequency. And this adverbs of frequency that you usually practice, it's always, yes? When we're talking about 100%, for example, I always have lunch, right? I always have lunch. Usually, what? I usually have, I don't know, I usually do exercise. So I mean that I do a little bit frequently. Normally means in general. In general and normal, it was very similar. Often or frequently. So when you do some activities often, for example, when you watch TV, so I often watch TV. So I now watch TV every day and every time. So, but I often watch TV, yes? Sometimes that's a kind of 15%. So sometimes I do exercise, sometimes I don't do exercise, but it's not 100% sure that I do it, okay? Occasionally, it means 30%, well, occasionally I do exercise, could be once a week, yeah, could be all every 8 days, it's occasionally, all right? Seldom, so I don't do a lot of exercise, yes, but it's like it's seldom. Hardly ever and rarely. I don't do exercise at all. So that's what they say. And never, never. So I not do exercise, never. No exercise in my life. Well, actually my life is exercise, but as is one as example that I can share with you. So, but not for this form. So we have some information and some sentence that we can figure out to learning a little bit more this adverse frequency, right? So here we have, I have always brushed my teeth at night. So you do this always, right? So you don't do frequently, you don't do sometimes, yes, you do always, right? Because otherwise you don't have health, you won't have healthy teeth. I mean, and usually, I mean walk to work. Walk means to do the action walk. Okay, I usually walk to work. So when I walk to work, it's not as every time I do it, but I usually like 3, 4 times a week. Okay, normally, it means regularly or generally that I tell you. Normally, I normally get good marks. All right, so we get good marks when I do exercise. Often reading bed at night. So I mean often that a couple of nights I use it my reading sections and I do it, right? So I read. Another one is sometimes sink in the shower. So I used to chill in the shower. Hello, I do see. So that's sometimes. The action is doing sometimes, not very every day and not frequently, but sometimes. I occasionally go to bed late. Occasionally, it means go to bed late. So it means that you don't go late every night, but occasionally. Yeah, for example, could be on Wednesdays, could be on Fridays evening. So I go a little bit late home. So it means occasional. I'll seldom add salt to my food. Salt. To put salt in your food? So I seldom. So means seldom is like a 10%. So I don't use a lot of salt in my food, but I seldom put salt in my food. I hardly ever get angry. Get angry when you're not good, not happy, you're angry. So I say I seldom, or I hardly ever get angry. Okay, and the other one example that we have here is this one with vegetarians never eat meat. Vegetarians never eat meat. It means that there are vegetarians, right? So that's the why. So how can we figure out all this information with this sentence? Because it's not easy to recognize only the vocabulary. It's important to know how to use it in a sentence. How are you going to complete? Remember that in this unit, you will have some material. You will have some videos, you will have some links to practice, to get inside, to do some practice, right? So let's see the last part of this part. Daniel always. Look at how the sentence contains. How can you figure out the sentence? Use the subject, yes, which is Daniel, or I can say another subject. I say my father, my sister. It means a subject, a person to do the actions, right? Always, right? Always. It means the 100% do it, yes. Always passes, yes. Remember that here we use third person and singular, so we practice in the older units third person singular when you put an s and the verb. So here is third person, so you have to write an at es. Remember this part. Passes his exams. So I mean Daniel is very smart. So Daniel always passes exams. He never loses exams. All right. So it's the action that happens every time. Let's see another sentence. Yeah. Let's use another sentence like this. Subject. Yes. We have the verb, right? Auxiliary verb. This is another kind of grammar, so we call this present perfect. This topic we will practice in the next level. So I mean in a level 2, you'll be able to talk about present perfect, past perfect. Well, how can you interact with this action? So this is the example. And here it's another. How can you do negative sentence? It's very easy. Very easy. It's like in simple present. You only write Daniel and the third person of singular, right? And the third person of singular, you write Daniel, okay? So let's practice. Like I always speak English, right? So this is one example of practicing. I always speak English. I always eat lunch. So using each one in one example about you, okay? So let's practice before you do it. So thinking about what kind of activities you do like always, what sometimes, what others you never do. So practicing. Now, let's continue with the next part of this expression, which is very interesting. We're going to talk about at, on, in. Okay? So when we have at, when we use at specifically, right? Because it's very similar to seeing sentence, but how are you going to use it? So let me I tell you how to use in this expression. So thank you to what worked English for this presentation because I took from them this information. At a specific time, yes, at 7 o'clock, at 10 o'clock. What time do you have class? At 7 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so it's a specific time. Another one is when we're talking at a holiday period. So we just know what exactly time is it. So let's make some couple examples. I get up at 7 o'clock, right? The movie starts at 8:30. So that is exactly time. So I'm using at on this form. They sing carols at Christmas. You know carols? Yeah, just carols. I love carols Christmas. When it's December 24 in my country, we're using to sing carols and called peseres, which is not common in a second language, but we usually will sing carols. So those are the carols. And it's a specific time, right? Because we're talking about Christmas, so a specific time. Come and visit us at Thanksgiving. So it means that it's a specific time either, okay? So that's why I use it at. Be careful with this information because you need to practice, and here you have some material for practicing. The other is on, all right, on dates, on dates. So which is the difference of this? Days like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those are the dates, but others are days, special kind of days, right? Like January 7th, okay? So we're gonna see some examples. I will visit you on Wednesday, okay? Where were you on Friday? Okay, his birthday, happy birthday to you. So it's like, with your birthday, it's on March. Be careful. We use it on when we're talking the month. Be careful with this information. Month with the day. Okay, month with the day. For example, his birthday is on March 27th. Her birthday is in June 27th. So we need to write on when it's the month of the month on the date. So that's why I'm talking about dates. All right. Then, or for example, the exam is on the 16th. Yes. So I use a specific date. Now, in. Look at all the information that I had for in. Just very common. So what you need is practice. Teacher, how can I improve my English? Practicing, guys. Just listen music. I told you, listen music, watch videos, practice the sentence, and try to speak by yourself. Yes, to say, hi, my name is, start introducing yourself, talking about your family, but you need to speak to prove the English, right? So, but in addition to know this information will be very successful for your English class, okay? So about here, we're gonna have in. How we using is expression. We're gonna use it in expression when we're talking about months, okay? Months. When we're talking about years, okay? When we're talking about the past dates, right? When we're talking the century, yes? When we're talking in seasons, yes? Like winter, summer, right? Seasons. And a time, a period. Okay, so I'm going to give you one example of each one. Months. Look at the examples of months. My birthday is in January. My birthday is in September. My birthday is in August. So I write in. And the days, remember days, on. Okay? Months in, days of the week, on. Okay, the other example. I'm going on vacations in August. I'm going on vacations time. This one, Shakespeare, you know Shakespeare, right? Was born in 1964. So we practice here 1964, okay? And the other, the Titanic sank in 1912, okay? So we have these expressions for in when we're talking about years, okay? So in the next part, we're going to talk about the days. Like life was difficult in the 1940, right? So you're talking about decades. The other was there were many happiest in the 60s. We got about in the 60s, in the 80s, okay? So we have different kinds of. We are living in the 21st century. Yeah, century, we're talking about centuries, right? Always we use an in the, okay? In the 19th and the 20th and the 6th century, okay? We go to the beach in summer. Well, we're talking about seasons. I told you seasons. We go to vacations in winter, okay? So we use it in, not using on, okay? The other is there are many flowers in a spring. So which is flowers, you know, the color flowers. I love red flowers. The meter starts in 10 minutes. Starts in 10 minutes. So it means a time, a period of time. Oh, be careful. The meter starts in 10 minutes. The meter starts in 7 minutes. So something very quickly. Okay? And then she will be here in the 3 hours. Where is she? She's coming to be here in 3 hours. Okay? So all this information is important for you for practicing. So you need to practice in English to have this successfully and keeping going. Okay, let's go to the next part of the presentation. And here we have the expression. So the last part we're talking at, in, on, how to use it. Of course, you need to practice. Remember, practicing how to use it. Read, complete the workshops that we have here, okay, in this page. If you have questions, please write me, teacher. I would like that you talk to me about this part so I can help you and give you some extra information. But here I have something very important, and I would like to teach you in this final unit for this level, which is expressions of time. When we're talking about expressions of time, it's important to have in mind because in a level 2, you're going to be in a past simple activities, okay? You're going to be in a past simple activities, so you need to practice a lot with these past simple activities. So here we have past, okay? We have present, so we have future, okay? So we're talking about past, we say yesterday, last week, last month. So mean the activities that I did, we're writing in the past, okay? So what about in the present, today? I mean this week, so I mean that happened this week, this month too, I can write up this month. And this is a present, okay? So when we make a sentence, we have to be very careful how to complete the tense. Because if you have a couple of this vocabulary and you want like to practice, so you need to know how to make connection, how to infer in a sentence. That sentence will be understanding about the person who is listening to you, okay? The other is the future, right? Tomorrow, right? Tomorrow. The other part is next week, next month. So we're talking about future. In general, those are expressions for you practice English. Please, trying to memorize, trying to practice, and trying to understand their meaning in each sentence, okay? So this is the homework. Remember that we have some links here for practicing. And thank you to English Study for this presentation, which is very nice and very interesting. So, but let's continue with our class. Let's go to the next part. Here we have some reading strategies. So why it's important to have some reading strategies? Because when you read, you say, hey, how am I going to read this text? What kind of strategies can I use in for this test? So today I bring a couple of strategies for you. Even they're here in this information. So we have some information, detailed information on how these are reading strategies. So first is just to have the read for main idea or in the event, yes, which is the first one. Then recognizing the time prepositions, if we're talking in the present, in the past, if we use in, if we use at, okay? So we use for long periods of time, such as months or years, to recognize that use on for days, yes? So I've already talked to you about this. Use around approximate times before referring activity happening at the early time. One of the principal, the main topic in your reading is to recognize the title. Okay, title is very important because it's how your reading is going to become during the reading activity. Okay, so but reading is very important for you, so remember practicing reading. Okay, so let's go to the next part of this activities, and we meet with other friend, which is present continuous. Very important for your English skills, very important because there are actions that happen in the present, actions that you are doing at the moment and are interesting when you talk to a person or you talk to people in present time, okay? So these actions are happening at the moment, right? For example, I am drinking water. So the action I'm doing, which I'm doing is at the moment. So we have here the present continuous. I have here some examples, okay? So using always verb to be. Remember in English 1 in the first class, we saw verb to be. Here we have special characters of verb to be, conjugations with each pronoun, even with directed subject, right? Because I can use Paulina, I'll directly subject, Paul or Jane is subdirect subject. So the others are pronouns like he, she, it. So we do the conjugation with verb to be, am, is, and are. Then we using the verb with ing. Okay, ing, playing, doing, going, swimming, running, listening, and eating. I know you know these verbs because you should memorize verbs in English. This is very important for you. Also, we had all other verbs doing with ing and a couple of rules that we have keeping in mind, right? For example, kiss, we say kissing, ing, eating, take. Remember the verbs ending in E? This is some rules. When you write a present continuous sentence, you need to keep in mind rules, okay? Rules. What is the rule? If the verb that you're going to practice or you're going to complete your sentence and in a special letter or a special vowel, so you have to change a little bit your sentence. Not your sentence, to change the verb ending. For example, verb take. You shouldn't say take, you don't say taking, right? You say you take cover, put away e, and you add ing, okay? Make, put over e, and write ing. Shake, put over take and write ing. Okay, this is one of the rules. The other rule is travel, traveling, regret, ready, so double L. This is very important because this is one of the things that they change, which is lie, right? And say lie, lying. So put away IE. So I write ing. Die, dying. Put away IE. So you have to quote to put away IE, no IE, and just add in ing. Okay? You change this part with ing. And the other just depends if you're just vowel, consonant, vowel, like get, right? Like get, like she, like sit, or skip, and swim. So you should add the last consonant, right? So I would say Swimming, it says swimming. I'm swimming. I'm doing the action swimming. So I repeat like 2 times the last consonant of the word. Okay. So these are here some couple of examples. Let's continue. And here in your information, you'll have exercises to develop like this exercise, okay? So when you see this material, I need you practice, you complete this couple of exercise. If you have questions, please let me know the questions, and we keeping going in the each part, okay? So, and I guess when we finish this, we already finished this level, Unit 6. Thank you very much. We finished the unit. I expect you or see you in the level number 2. Remember to practice English, watching movies, I listen music, and it was a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Awesome. We already finished our level 1. Hemos terminado nuestro nivel 1 de inglés. Una genial experiencia. Espero que hayan aprendido muchísimo, que hayan practicado mucho, que puedan hablar ahora sus lecciones básicas en inglés, presentarse, que puedan hablar de un amigo, que puedan mostrar una dirección y usar el inglés de una forma más agradable. Nos vemos en nuestro siguiente nivel. That's a great to see you in this next level, level 2, nivel 2. Vamos a estar en el nivel 2 y espero que todos participen activamente. Thank you for being here, and thank you for practice with all these English activities. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Hope you have a great time. Bye bye.